Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Students, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's satsang, we will continue the topic of how to be self reliant and how to learn that art. The art of self reliance has to be developed from childhood. However, most children want to be lazy, to be dependent. That should not be so. Do not become dependent upon others. Try to become more and more dependent upon yourself in both little and big things. This will give you a sense of greater freedom later in life. Don't depend upon your parents for bringing discipline into your life. Parents have their own problems. If it is you who must live your life, therefore try to discipline yourself. Learn to get up early, to practice meditation, to do your duties at home without constantly being reminded, to set up your own goals for your school, work, etc. Your parents are not your secretaries. Do not have them organize your desk, your room, and your closet while you go on shouting, Mother, where is my pencil? Where is my pen? Where is my book? Where are my shoes? Rather, know how to put things where they belong. If you know how to categorize things and put them in order, you can save a lot of time. And these skills will also help you when you grow up. Otherwise, when you're old, your parents are no longer going to help. So you should know how to take care of your clothes and clean your room. When you are hungry, you should be able to prepare food for yourself. Learn a little bit about cooking from your mother so that if she is sick or if she is away, you can cook for yourself. You should be your own servant rather than have somebody to serve you. Be proud of being able to do the things that you have done and that need to be done, and for helping others rather than being helped. Don't develop a sickly image of success, thinking that it means having servants all around you so that you don't have to do anything. That is not success at all. If there is a need to pull, you pull. If there's a need to lift bricks, you lift them. If there's a need to run, you run. If there's a need to carry something on your head, you carry it. That is success. Don't be fussy about little things. You can adapt to the needs of whatever situation you are placed in. You should never have the idea, why should I act like a servant when my parents have enough money to have servants? People who adopt this philosophy of luxury do harm to themselves, because in spite of the external show of riches and luxury, internal diffidence and a sense of weakness develops within the mind. In India, rich people generally become very dependent on servants because there are so many servants available to do even little tasks. Every little thing is done by somebody else. When a difficult situation arises, they are alone. They become like fish out of water. They do not know what to do. Even making tea can put them in a miserable predicament. However, when you learn the art of self reliance, you develop yourself to do many things, not only for yourself, but also for others. This allows you to discover that you have boundless resources and that you can advance and rise to higher levels according to your determination and resolve. A sharp distinction has to be made between depending on someone and being guided. In the development of self reliance, you should seek advice and allow yourself to be guided by those who are wiser than you. This guidance enables you to discover your inner resources and utilize them towards the attainment of self realization. Self reliance is an art that one must develop with great precision. It involves self introspection, self analysis, self improvement, and self discipline. All these qualities are interlinked. When you learn that art, you begin to develop confidence in yourself and your willpower becomes strong. You become aware that the source of inspiration and strength you are tapping is God within you, the universal self. Therefore, you have endless possibilities. So let's talk about a story of a king who learned self reliance from a little girl. See, we all learn all our lives. Let me share with you another parable that provides insight into the greater virtue of self reliance. There was a king who listened to a priest reciting the entire Bhagavad, a scripture recounting the glory of Lord Krishna. At the end of every volume of that great work, there is a Mahatmya, which means the benefit of this that is that you will attain enlightenment and become free of the world process. The king therefore heard this promise of freedom again and again during the recitation of this great work. After the entire reading of the Bhagavata was finished, the king asked the priest, "Have I become enlightened? Have I become liberated?" The priest replied, "You have to decide that for yourself." The king said, "No, I have not attained liberation. Therefore, what you are teaching is false. And for false teaching, I will have you beheaded unless you can give me a rational explanation of why I remain unenlightened." The priest did not have a rational explanation to give. He didn't know what to say. So, feeling miserable, he went home. When his little 7-year-old daughter asked him why he was so sad, he informed her that the king wanted an explanation about why he had not attained enlightenment after hearing the Bhagavata recited, since that was the promise made again and again in the scripture. The girl said, "Oh, father, it is simple. Take me to the royal court tomorrow and I will explain it to him." So the child had, the father had faith in his child. So the next day, the priest took his daughter to the royal court. When the king came and sat on the throne, the girl ran right in front of him and caught hold of one of the pillars of the palace, shouting, "This column has caught me. How can I be free? How can I be liberated?" The king said, "Let it go, you foolish girl, let it go." But the girl kept on shouting, and the king became angrier and angrier. Finally, the girl said, "O king, aren't you doing the same thing? You are clinging to your ego, to your vanity, and unless you let that ego go, you cannot be liberated. So, why do you blame my father? Or why do you blame the scriptures?" After hearing these words of wisdom, the king understood. As the story points out, enlightenment depends upon yourself. You can study about it in the scriptures, your guru can guide you, but ultimately you must work for your own enlightenment. If you were to say, "I will tell my guru to pray for my enlightenment and his prayers will confirm upon me liberation," that is not proper. That would be wrong. Guru Kripa, no doubt, is necessary, his grace is necessary, but it has to be combined with your sincere self effort. So, uh, you must work for it. If somebody could bring enlightenment to you on a platter, he could also take it away from you. Enlightenment is something that you yourself must achieve. If it is somebody else's achievement, it is not worth having. Thus, strive to cultivate the virtue of self reliance. It is by that virtue that you can integrate yourself, discipline yourself, attain success in every project, and finally attain liberation or mukti. When you are self reliant, you become dependent upon the big self within you, and in that dependence lies absolute independence. And that is how the process works. And repetition of mantra is of great help in that process. Japa, or repetition of mantra, consists of repeating a mystic formula or divine name many, many, many times. You keep on chanting that mantra that has been given to you for your mind to get into a set pattern. For example, if you repeat Ram or Om or Jesus or Om Namah Shivaya or any mantra that helps you to feel the divine presence within your heart. Japa can be done with a mala or without a mala. Receive a mantra from a spiritual teacher or choose one of your own. You can repeat it loudly, which is called Vaikhari, like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. You can repeat it semi verbally, which is called Upanshu, like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Or you can repeat it silently, mentally, which is called Mansik, meaning it's going within. You're not even chanting it. Every time you repeat mantra, you create positive impressions in your unconscious. You plant a seed of spiritual strength. Even if you do it mechanically, it still has its influence on your unconscious and will help you immensely in the future. Someday you will realize big changes in yourself. That is why the scripture speaks so highly of this mantra. Saint Meera said, I found the wealth of the divine name Rama. Other wealths decrease, but this wealth grows day by day, and there is nothing like it. Tulsidas ji, Kabira, and other saints have also spoken highly of this mantra recitation. A simple mantra like Ram 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 Om 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 Namah Shivaya Om Shri Ramaya Namah Om Dum Durgaya Namah Om Aim Saraswati Namah Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah Om Shri Hanumate Namah, or so many mantras that can work. They are all the same. There is only one God, different forms of God. So Om is the smallest mantra, or just chanting Om, that will help you to develop immense mental power. By constant repetition of a divine formula, the mind becomes charged with positive vibrations and therefore acquires the strength to withdraw itself into a state of concentration and meditation. For students, one important mantra is that of Goddess Saraswati. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. While you repeat this mantra, allow your mind to think about the goddess and meditate on her presence. Goddess Saraswati is the goddess presiding over the intellect, over learning, over your talents. She rides on a swan, which is the symbol of a pure mind. The musical instrument in her hand, called a veena, symbolizes harmony. When the strings are tuned correctly and are not too loose or too tight, then beautiful melody flows. Similarly, the strings in your personality of reason, will, action, and emotion must be harmonized. While repeating the mantra of Goddess Saraswati, mentally feel her presence, the presence of the all loving Mother. By her grace, all things can happen. So, with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and tomorrow we will study about the power of prayer. Hari Om Tat Sat.